Okay, I tried to do this one last week, but I couldn't smell anything and couldn't taste much. And my voice is still a little bit hoarse from my throat being a little bit congested. But I'm pretty confident that uh, my nosing is back to about 80 or 90%, and so my tasting is okay. So I tried to do this one last week. I had to pour it back into the bottle. Now I pour it into a glass again. This is the Campbeltown Loch Blended Malt Batch 3, 03-10-22. So I guess this is bottled in 2022. So it would be the 3rd of October. I guess the 3rd of October. No. March 10th. March 10th, I guess. Depending on which convention you use for month and day. I always go from the smallest to the largest. So for me, it would be the day, the month, the year. But in English, it's the month, the day, the year, which isn't logical, but the English language never was logical anyway. Okay, so here we are with our Campbeltown Loch Blended Malt Scotch Whisky, batch number 3. And okay, we got some sheeting action and trails of droplets. Oh, and now there's a ridge, and there are secondaries, which aren't moving very much, but they're quite large-sized droplets on there. Yeah, there's some larger drops on there. See those? I get butterscotch, which I didn't get last week. Butterscotch and something funky. So if this is a Campbeltown Loch, I'm imagining that there's some Springbank and some Glen Scotia and some Kilkerran kind of thing. So you would expect it to be a bit funky. That butterscotch note is up front for me. So, funky butterscotch. I find that sometimes when I breathe into the glass and inhale, I'm getting a little more. Nice butterscotch and funk. I'm not getting much else. But like I said, my nosing is 80% maybe. Oh, now it's really coming in. There's a hint of mint, or a minty hint, something like that. Yeah. A bit of a mintiness. Along with the butterscotch and a little bit of that funky Dunnage Warehouse thing going on. I might get quite an awakening when I taste it. Okay, here we go. Oh. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, there's a lot more going on the palate than on the nose. Wow. This one was sent to me by Donner Pass Whisky. Thanks, Tim. Slancheva. Oh, yeah. It reminds me of the first time I tasted Springbank 15 some years ago. It's got that funkiness. On the palate, it doesn't have butterscotch like it did on the nose when I first nosed it. But there is a hint of mint, or a minty hint. There is definitely that funkiness from the Dunnage Warehouses. Butterscotch on the nose, but not on the palate so much. This is a really good blended malt. Really, really good. This takes the best slightly peaty, funky, with mint. The thing about Campbeltown peat is I don't get so much a citrus note like I will from South Isla peat. South Isla peat, big citrus notes, a lot of lemon and lime. But here I'm not getting any of that. It's a moderate peat. It's funky. How else to describe it? It's a very fine Campbeltown blended malt, bottled at 46% ABV, and it says on here dark color. Yeah, it's darkish. It's really rather nice. Good to the last drop. Get the last drops out of there. Oh, come on. One more. Okay. This was one of the nominees for um, online Scotch Whisky Awards, I believe. And on the nose, once again, the butterscotch, which I don't get on the palate. Very interesting. Slancheva.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Yeah.